Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Heather with the Junk You Should Know Show. I am so glad you are here. We are here Friday at noon PST like we are every week. And this week I have an amazing guest with me, Erika Black. And Erika and I met in a yoga class to begin with. And then I found out she was a massage therapist as well. And then I found out she's an essential oil expert. And so talk about the trifecta, like awesome. And so Erika and I have known each other for some time. And as soon as I started getting a bunch of questions about essential oil basics or kindergarten for essential oils, I knew exactly who to call and bring in to answer everybody's questions. So welcome, Erika.
Thanks so much. It's good to be here.
You're welcome. And you are coming to us from, is it San Diego?
Today I'm actually in Julian, California. It's about an hour and 20 minutes northeast of San Diego, but yeah, San Diego County.
Okay, fantastic. One of my favorite cities. I've been able to be there twice on business this year. I absolutely love San Diego. And I know you've just moved there recently from Seattle. So how fun you're getting all that good weather, right?
Sunshine every day is not bad.
I know, right? That's so awesome. That's why Brent and I love Scottsdale so much. Okay, well, we're going to just jump right in. But first, I want you to share a little bit. I've said you're a massage therapist. You have been studying and immersing yourself in the world of essential oils for how many years now?
I have been really diving into it for the last 6 years.
Wonderful.
I've been exposed to them for probably the last 15 or 16 through massage therapy as a massage therapist, but really getting educated, diving deeper and asking questions and you know, doing a lot of classes and coursework stuff the last 5-6 years.
Fantastic. And I know whenever I have a burning essential oil question, either from a client or for myself, you have been so good about just responding super quick to a text with great ideas that I did not come up with on my own. And so thank you for that as well, because you always have, you're like a little oil encyclopedia. It's awesome. So it's great.
I don't want to tell all of my tricks, but thank you. You're welcome. I appreciate you and all your questions. I love that you love helping people, so it makes it easy to relay.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that both Erika and I are going to be available for questions after today's broadcast, both in the comments. And if you want a private message, either of us, we're happy to help with your very specific oil needs. And so we're going to get into some of the basics. And one of the first questions people ask is, you know, oils have been around forever, but they've only just become so mainstream that they're in almost every health food grocery store, health food store, spa, everything. They're all carrying them now.
Absolutely.
Explain what an essential oil is.
So in its basic form, an essential oil is oil that's been distilled or cold pressed from nature, from the plant, the bark, the fruit, you know, the flower of the plant, and all of those benefits that the plant gets from having the essential oil in the plant, we also have access to. And that's because plants are carbon-based and we're carbon-based. And so our system takes them in, absorbs them, and knows the coding, the blueprint, so to speak, that oils have in them. You know, so it's not there's no translation error or gap. Our brains and our body, just our blood, you know, we take it in, we use it, and it has instant access to help code what needs to happen in our body from a standpoint of finding balance, the health and the wellness. It's like the little pharmacy of the plant if the plant has an issue, and we get to tap into it.
That's fantastic. And I love that you said balance, because although you know, many people who use essential oils will say, well, treat this with this or treat this with this. It's actually about bringing you back into balance. So we're not trying to load you up with a bunch of stuff like a pharmaceutical dumps a bunch of stuff into your system, and oil helps you find balance. So I love that you said that. That's great. And so there are so many different kinds of oils out there. And if I'm a newbie and I'm interested, I think the most important thing is what to not buy. What do I avoid? What oils do I need to watch out for?
That's a great question. And I'll kind of go on a couple of different levels with that question. The first one is from someone who grew up with a parent who was very budget mindseted, you know, parents of the Depression era, you know, always saved everything. My first instinct with oils was which one was the least expensive. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, that's where we start. Yeah. And if we base our experience off of what we purchase that's the least expensive, for the experience that we have possibility the whole time, then it's going to change the skew of our long-term benefit and opportunity. Like if your first car you ever had was a beater, to put it plainly, then you're not going to like, all of a sudden be like, I don't want to drive a car. I'm going to walk everywhere.
Yeah.
Because there's so many great automobiles out there that you would be in luxury. So for oils, I started with some of those baseline oils long time ago just because they smelt good, and I got them at my massage school. For the average person, you might not have that that clinic with all of the therapeutic stuff at your access, and so you might start looking online. You might go to your grocery store, your health food store, and you're going to find a lot of different essential oils, a lot of brands, and a lot of qualities within the different oils. So there are multiple grades of oils. There's therapeutic grade. There's food grade. There's just like the stuff that's kind of more synthetic, that's in our candles and our lotions generally at our Happy Smell Good stores. Yeah. There's a lot of different grades and different qualities. And so looking at the quality of your oil is important. And that helps you to figure out, what you're getting, whether you're getting the junker or whether you're getting the Mercedes, or somewhere in the middle, right? But what's most important is that regardless of your budget and what you're trying to purchase, is that you're purchasing something that's safe. Nobody wants a car that's going to get them in an accident. And so my goal is with kindergarten here is that we can get you educated so that when you're getting into essential oils, that you're starting with something that's safe and that's pure, and then you can have the experiences that you want from there. You can dive in as much or as little as you want, knowing you can have the best outcome possible without, any of the chaos or any of the oh my gosh, what happened, snafus. So that's kind of the baseline.
So what would make an oil unsafe? Like if I'm out shopping, how would I know?
Well, the beauty and also sometimes the scary part of shopping for essential oils is the purity of an essential oil is what we would look for when we're looking for safety. Okay. Not all essential oils are created equal. Okay. And so you might have heard of something called synthetics. And another way that we can look at synthetic, I'm not a doctor, but just as an example is if you look at pharmaceuticals generally are a synthetic duplication of something nature had created that they can put into a pill form and that they can replicate, duplicate, and create very cheaply to be able to give your body a message to do something. Yes. So part of what we look for is we want the purest, safest form of the message in our bodies, so there's no side effects, there's no there's no challenges, there's no mishaps, there's no at the bottom fine print that you have to worry about when you're going to use an essential oil. So when you're looking at the purity, that's an important thing. How you would know when you look on a bottle, you might be somewhere where you have a bottle of essential oils and at a fair or something where they're selling something and it's not labeled, it's a mom and pop shop. And you're just taking the word of whoever tells you about it, because that's where they're at. And they may be passionate and they may love it, but they may not be a scientist. They may not know much about purity. They just know that for them, this is their best product on their property that they can offer you. Yeah. And that's awesome. I love supporting mom and pop. But when I'm looking at something that I want a therapeutic benefit from, I want to know that there's science, that there's research, that there's information behind it. So when I go to the store and I look for purity, I have a little bit of a reality check that even if something has a label on it, because essential oils are not FDA regulated, they do not have to have all of the documentation of what's in them and the levels and the purity and all of those things. Yeah. So it's a conversation that can be deeper, if you're not in kindergarten. Yes. And I'm happy to give you some lead-ins into that conversation. But the thing is that when you look at the labels on an essential oil, it can say whatever it wants. It doesn't abide by the same regulations as our food, which that's another conversation. Yes, right. As all the other even pharmaceuticals and stuff, they have to go, all the stuff, they go through rigorous testing. They have to tell you everything that's in them. So when you're looking at essential oils to purchase and to use them for your family and for your health and for your safety and all those things, you want to be able to trust the company and the source. And so knowing the source and the company and doing some research is important. There's lots of companies, there's lots of oils. You know, if you haven't seen oils every day in your life, you've been hiding under a rock because they're everywhere.
They are.
Know? And it's awesome.
Yeah.
If you know how to play in that world.
Totally. And
if
Erika,
you don't, it's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. And I do think a couple points is, one is, in this case, a little more expensive is probably often a sign that they are spending a little more money on research, on the products they're putting into their oils, on the purity levels, because people have to think that it's not just lavender, it's what has that lavender been treated with, and what, you know, and so that's where the difference is when you are working with a reputable company that's tons of science behind it, they can assure you and are independently tested that what's in the bottle is what it says is in the bottle is in the bottle, and that what's in the bottle is free of a bunch of pesticide and crap that we don't want to be putting into our body. The other piece I want to mention, because coming from my background, when I'm telling people about supplements, which is the exact same conversation, I say, look, the good news about good supplements, pharmaceutical grade supplements, is yes, it's a higher price point, but if you want to take a little less of a better quality supplement, I'm good with that. There's no point in taking, you know, a bunch of the crap supplement, because A, it's not going to work for you, and potentially it can be dangerous. So I'd rather you know, metered out your expensive one so it doesn't cost you quite so much, and you're still taking some of the better one. I think essential oils, it's the same thing. You're going to be very stringent on how you use it, but aiming for a higher quality oil, I think, is absolutely a must, right? Agree?
Absolutely. And not just that, but to your point, is when you have something that's high quality, an essential oil that's pure, the amount that you actually have to use to get a result is so small. 1 to 2 drops of an essential oil will make a huge impact in your body's systems. That's great. Can get a result in an action and, you know, get things happening. Whereas, you know, you might, you know, feel like if a little is good, a lot is better. You know, with something that's pure, you don't have to worry about that. The conversation is so clear from nature and the oil in your body that your body knows what to do. It's a clear, concise command. Here's what we're giving you. Yeah. Go to town.
I like that. And so that leads us to one of the questions I get is, how do you actually use them? I mean, people get them home and they're like, I don't really know what to do with this thing. So what are maybe the main ways that people are using oils?
Absolutely. Well, there's really 3 main ways that you can utilize oils. And I'm going to say this from a standpoint of what I've researched and what I've had experiences with. And the first one is aromatic. And so, you know, if you've known anything about oils, you know that they smell good. Yes. That's why people started liking them. You know, we're drawn to it because when you open a bottle of lavender, it's like a hug. Yeah. You know, it just loves you. It slows you down. It grounds you. You know, it makes you feel all soft and cozy. And so aromatically can mean smelling it out of the bottle. It can mean taking it, putting a drop in your hand and, you know, and taking a deep breath, getting it in. Great. Our olfactory nerve, not to be dorky, but our olfactory nerve, our sense of smell, it goes straight to the brain. You know this. Yeah. It's the fastest way to get a message to the brain. So when you think about how do we use oils, you know, you can put them in stuff. You can, you know, have them lots of different ways. But any way that you can smell it is going to be a fast, direct message to your body, because your smell is a message, as if you had somebody who was baking cookies in the house and they started burning. Yeah. You instantly run crying because you don't want to waste a cookie, you know, and you know, and something starts burning, you react. If you're touching the hot pan, you react because you smell it, you feel it, but it's a fast message. So oils, they offer this amazing high speed, fast message to our brain. And if you can, you know, just take a few deep breaths, I'm still getting this beautiful aroma right now of lavender, just rubbing my hands together, right? Yeah. The second way that you can use them is through diffusing. And so you can put them into a diffuser, something like this, where, you know, you put water in and then a few drops of oil, you push, you know, the button, you turn it on, you plug it in, and it's going to send a nice little mist into the air that's going to have an aromatic benefit too. And so aromatic can be using a diffuser, which I love diffusing. It's the thing that I love about diffusing is that we like our areas to smell good anyway. Yeah. You know, for years, I've grown up using candles because they smelled good. I didn't know about the lead. I didn't know about
Yeah.
all the carcinogens. I didn't know those things, back then. Now I do. So these offer a clean way to make the environment smell good. But
I love it.
also, not just are you impacting yourself, you're impacting everything in everyone in the environment. So if you have a spouse who's having a bad day and you put an oil that's uplifting, it's going to help them. They might not know it, but it will. If you have a pet that's got digestive issues or something happening, you put it in the diffuser, all of a sudden the pet starts, having a benefit.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful way to share nature's goodness.
That's a great way to put it. I love it.
Aromatic is beautiful.
What's number 3?
And so I kind of accidentally squeezed in the diffusing and the aromatic because it's kind of the same. But number 2 is actually topical. And so you can buy essential oils that are already diluted. Like this is a frankincense, and so I can take it and it's already got some coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, and I can put it straight on. You can dilute it with a unscented lotion. Some people will use apricot oil or different oils. When you use a carrier oil is what we call it. It's a vessel that the essential oil is going to go into your body. So this is just a little squeeze bottle that's fractionated coconut oil, and it comes out clear. It's just an oil. And so what I do is I'll put the coconut oil, the fractionated coconut oil, in my hand, and then I'll take a drop of an essential oil and put in, and then rub them together. And now I can put it on topically.
Nice.
And so topically, like if you had a sunburn, this would be a great way to apply for a sunburn, nice and light with some lavender and peppermint, cooling, relaxing, taking out the inflammation, anti-inflammatory benefit. And so topically is a great way to do it, especially if you have kids. Kids are usually resistant to you treating them, to helping them, because sometimes they're in that stage where they know it all, they can do it all.
Yeah.
But they love having their back rubbed and scratched. Yeah. They love having, so if you can put some essential oils in that lotion and put it on their back in the morning and the evening, you're going to affect their day and their immune system. And it's a very easy, passive way that you get to connect and nurture your child and give them a therapeutic benefit too.
That's great.
So
I love that.
The third way, to dive in quickly, the third way is an internal usage of essential oils. And this is something that I can speak to from a standpoint of safety with pure, 100% pure essential oils. There's a lot of oil companies that you can go and research, and some of them, when you look at the purity that we talked about, will actually open their files and give you access to looking at their reports of what's in their oils. And so like this bottle right here is a bottle of peppermint, and it has a SKU number on the bottom. You might not be able to see it, but there's a website that I can go to that's a public access site. You can go to, type in the SKU number on this bottle, and it will pull up the actual information and show you the research of what's in the bottle of purity.
That's awesome.
So I can look and I can know how much linalool or how much esters or how much, of the different chemicals are in it, so that I can actually research. If I want to be dorky enough and science-minded enough, I can research what's supposed to be in that pure oil and then match it with the company and the brand and the oil I want.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yes, it's beautiful. And not every company can do it because it does cost money. Yeah. But that transparency is important if you're talking about organic, if you're talking about, things that are certified. Well, a lot of companies, will certify something, in-house, but they don't necessarily show you the documentation behind it. They just put their stamp of approval. Yeah. And so it's important to know where something's coming from and who's backing it and the research and the science and all those things. I've been to,
that's great.
I've been to the manufacturing place, and I've seen, and I've talked to the doctors, and I've talked to owners of some of the companies that I work with, so that I have that peace of mind knowing.
That's great.
For me, that's huge. You might not be able to do that if you don't know, so having a website where you can go and look it up, huge.
Yeah, I love that. And so let's just, one more just second on internal oil. So are you saying that with a company like, and the company you like to work with is doTERRA, which I also love so much.
Absolutely.
With that company, are you saying any of the oils are ingestible because of their purity level, or are only some of them?
Great question. So there are essential oils that we do not recommend internal consumption. A lot of them we call hot oils, or there are some of them that are, big tree oils, or some of them that have molecules. The molecular content is so large or dense that our body doesn't process them as efficiently. And
Okay.
so there's things that, we want to be mindful of. With doTERRA specifically, they do actually offer on the bottles the little square that says supplement facts. And so
Oh,
if you have vitamins and you look on the bottle, it'll say supplement facts, tell you what's in it. A lot of times, your food. I
yeah.
use the example of a Snickers because that was my favorite candy bar growing up, and I can always look and see the calories, the fat, the sugar, the carbs. That's called a supplement facts. It tells you what's in it. It's the
Just a moment, Erika, you've frozen up there. Just
grass
hold on one sec. You're just frozen there for a second. Just one, hold that thought. Can you just repeat that last sentence because we lost you there for a second?
Absolutely. I kept talking and you froze on my screen.
Oh, funny. Oh, funny.
So the generally recognized as safe is the supplement facts, and those are on doTERRA's bottles that are safe for internal consumption.
Okay,
So
great.
if you're having a bottle and you actually read the fine print, it will tell you safe for internal use.
Okay.
But there are oils that about 10% of the oils are topical or aromatic only. So we're not going to put them in.
Yeah, good
But
to know.
Citruses and things like that, fruits, there's a lot of them that you can take internally and that are absolutely safe.
Great.
And there's different ways to take internally.
Oh, tell me about that.
So some people will put an essential oil into their water and drink it. So if you have a stainless steel or glass container, you could put, for instance, some lemon oil into your bottle and drink it. It's going to taste refreshing, but it's also going to have a lot of cleansing benefits and helps with releasing stuff. So a lot of benefit there. And so if you're someone who needs to hydrate more, all of us, but doesn't like the way water tastes, some people have that weird stigma because they've always had sugar in their water. And so this is a way to help people with that. Other people might not like the taste of an oil. They have an aversion or they just don't like the taste of an oil. And so they might drop it into a little clear capsule and take it internally that way with a bite of food or, something that has a little bit of fat in it is very beneficial. So a spoonful of avocado, a handful of nuts, something that has fat and lipids are going to help the oils to assimilate better and be absorbed better into the body.
I like that.
So that's a good tip. You don't want to take them just all the time on their own. It's good to have something else to help. So a little glass of milk or almond milk or something like that is nice.
I love that. And I watch you. Okay, your Facebook page is called Erika Black Wellness. And I've watched your lives on there, and one you did on guacamole, which I thought was fantastic. And so what we forget, and I've forgotten often, is like, oh my goodness, put these oils in your recipes. And so tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, one of my favorite ways is putting oils in. Guacamole is one of my favorites because it's just heaven on the mouth. I mean, I just love it. It's like heaven. Every way you could possibly have it, I'm down.
That's awesome.
But you can make salad dressings. You can, there's so many ways that you can utilize, when you make marinara, if you're, a pasta fan, maybe you're adding the oregano or basil into your marinara, and just a drop will do. It doesn't take much at all because they're so strong that literally one drop of, let's say, peppermint oil, one drop is equal to 24 cups of peppermint tea.
Wow. Okay.
It's a lot.
And that's
concentrated.
Super concentrated. We need to say that a few times, is that's the thing about oils, is one drop has so many plants in it, or so many whatever. It's big. And one thing that you talked about, the spaghetti sauce, I also think do a drop of oregano and some oregano, and then they kind of assimilate well together as what, in addition. So I think that you're getting even increased benefit there, because your body's like, oh, I know what oregano is, and then it gets all the goodness of it. So I think that's
beautiful idea.
That's great too. Good.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got diffuser, we've got breathe it in. We've got topical use with a little fractionated coconut oil, or I do like unscented lotion. So my sister has this awesome massage therapist in Calgary who she does a blend for you based on where you're at, and then she gives you a little of the unscented lotion with the blend in it to take with you, which is so cool.
That's awesome.
So there's lots of little ways that you can make your own lotions, and that's something too and you're really, really great at this, is there are so many DIYs for essential oils. like car freshener and lotions and room sprays and all sorts of great gift ideas. What's something that you've done that's kind of unique, or just as far as a gift idea or something like that?
It's a great question, and DIY is its entire own animal. It's amazing. One of my favorite DIYs is actually chapstick. So
Oh,
we love chapstick, lip balms, glosses, that kind of stuff. I've always been a fan of. But I love a good chapstick. And a long time ago, I used to be hooked on Burt's, and I
okay.
loved it. But it became $4, $5, $6 a tube, and I would inevitably leave them in my pocket and put it through the washing machine, and it was devastating. Um, and so we started using these oils on a regular basis in our house, and then I started learning about DIY, and I said, I want to make chapstick. One year for Christmas, we made chapstick, and we probably made, I don't know, 200 tubes of chapstick, of our own
Oh
lip
my gosh,
balm, so
that's
to speak.
awesome.
And you can make tubs, you can make sticks, you can, buy all the stuff and do how you want. But I found that having my own homemade lip balm, I no longer can use anything else. Like, it's not even a choice. And
That's
you can
awesome.
naturally tint it, with, beet juice or different things. You can get a lot of really cool and creative ideas online to have fun. So for me, that's one of my favorites. And
I
we
love
do
that.
probably every other year we make our own lip balm because it lasts for so long,
Yeah, I think
But
that's a great one.
there's so many recipes and so many things you can do. Another one is bath bombs, like the Epsom salt and like the bath bombs that you throw in when you're taking a bath. People love those. And you can add all kinds of fun stuff to them. Add some of the
Oh
lavender
yeah.
bits and stuff to it, and make it look really cute and decorate it. And they're
Oh my
great
gosh.
gifts.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, like you say, there's no end to the ideas on how you can use those. But back to make sure you're using a good quality oil for your loved ones, because you love them and you want them to benefit to the utmost possible that they can with a high quality oil, and not run into toxins and different things that are going to be in the cheaper oils. So just be aware of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One other thing with the DIY is I have a lot of friends and people who like to make candles, and an awareness that I learned in studying essential oils and going to classes and such was essential oils, when you burn them, they actually lose their therapeutic value in some ways. And so diffusing doesn't heat up the oil in the diffuser, but those old school like hippie diffusers with a candle underneath where it heats it up, and
Yes.
I used to have one of those and I didn't know any better. And I learned that. I was like, oh my gosh, it makes total sense. But when you heat an oil up, oils are volatile chemical compounds. And so when the sun hits it, when it heats up, or when oxygen hits it, it changes. It does that chemical reaction of electron
Yeah.
protons, woo, the science,
Yep.
blow your mind. And so when you heat the oil, it actually changes the form, and the therapeutic benefit, the message that's coming to our body changes a little.
Yep.
And so that's where things can start kind of getting cattywampus, and our benefit is a little bit tweaked. So when you're making DIY candles, it's okay to use the cheap oils, because you're not getting the therapeutic value anyway. You're just getting the smell good.
You just want
And
the
everybody
smell.
likes to smell good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not illegal to smell good. But
Yeah.
if you want a therapeutic benefit, then you're going to want to do it in a different way than burning the oil.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. I did not put that together. I remember you saying, Heather, don't keep your oils in your car. I'm like, why not? Through the whole summer.
But I'm always in my car.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Because I use them in my car a lot. But you're absolutely right. And you can even, like, there was one oil, I pulled it out and I could absolutely tell it smelled different than it was. And so it will change. So keep them in a cool, dark place. Yes.
Some people actually use the refrigerator.
Okay.
But yes, you want it in a dark place, that's cool. And, just because your trunk is dark doesn't mean it's cool, especially if you live in California. I know people who will travel, and put them in their actual little cooler when they travel because of the heat,
Yeah.
So as long as it's in your purse, you got air conditioning going, you're probably fine. Yeah. But at home, you don't want to store them on your windowsill. The sun is not its friend. So, have a little box for them, or have somewhere, it can be as easy as a shoebox, the little Altoid tins, back in the day, I used to collect them, put stuff in them. Well, roller bottles fit perfectly in there, there's a million ways you can travel with them.
That's awesome.
but safety and keeping it out of the sun and the heat is definitely important, because when you're going to invest in your oils, you have to invest in protecting them.
Yeah, that's good.
You're going to have that benefit.
I love that. Okay, so we covered, let's just briefly talk about, because there's lots of different ways you can get your oils, and you get them from the grocery store and all sorts of places. The reason I love doTERRA is because you can become a wholesale member pretty quickly for about a $35 charge, and then you get your oils at a much greater, better cost. And so that's a good thing. So I'm going to put a link below. If anybody has questions about that or is interested in that, that's a great way to find out more. And even if you're not, the doTERRA website has incredible education on there that you can link through to if you have questions, or you're like, how do I use peppermint oil, or what's it for, or anything. It has tons and tons of information. It's one of the reasons I like the company so much. So that's definitely something. Now, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you think viewers might be interested in knowing before we wrap up for today?
There's a couple of things. One is, if you are going to go online and you are going to go, don't be alarmed. You know, there are a lot of essential oils. There's over 80 different essential oils on the website when you go there, and more products that have oils in them. So what I like to recommend for people is that you get started with something that is, you know, a little bit smaller and concise, so you can have some experiments and experiences with, you know, 8 to 10 products perhaps, you know, and really keep it kind of manageable. And one of my favorite packages or kits is called the Aroma Touch Diffuse kit. And I can put a link down in the bottom here. And so what it does is it offers you 8 different essential oils. They're all 5 milliliter bottles, so they're, you know, nice little small bottles. You're not investing over your head. You're not diving into something that you know, it's just getting started. It also comes with a diffuser.
Oh, that's cool.
And it comes with a bottle of the fractionated coconut oil, not a little one like this, it's a big one, 4 ounces. And so you get an opportunity where you can use them topically, aromatically, or internally. And you have access to all of it in one kit. The price point is about $150, tax, shipping, etc. But that is a great way to get the kind of get started kit to do everything. And then also it gives you that wholesale membership you were talking about. Another thing that comes with that, for people that I'm working with, and all of you are definitely incorporated and have access to that, is that we have a oil camp, like an oil foundations course that you can go to, that you can go through for free to learn about how to use your oils, so that you're not just buying something and then moving to an island where you have to figure it out, like, you know, Tom Hanks and Wilson, right? We actually want you and invite you to be a part of what's happening to get educated in the community and have the tools, the resources, online courses, whether it's a text, you know, or whether it's being able to email. So you have a lifeline, you know, to myself, to someone who's going to be able to help you and keep you kind of, you know, steered in the right direction.
I love that. And so just to clarify, that getting started package with the oils, the diffuser, the fractionated oil, that is in lieu of your $35. So you pay one or the other, you don't pay both, right? That's what I thought. Okay, so in fact,
you can just do $35 and then pick a couple of oils. You know, there's 3 that are like you have to have these or else you're not going to survive in life.
Which are what?
It's a great question. It really, in my life, it's On Guard, the protective blend, because germs are a bugger. And when you're on airplanes all the time, it's a must-have. You know, for me, lavender is another one that I just think has so many valuable aspects. Whether you know, trip and fall and sprain your ankle, or whether you can't sleep, or whether you get a sunburn, or whether you have a bug bite, or, you know, the list goes on and on and on. Or whether you're doing an interview and you need some support with your communication. Lavender is an oil of communication. It's great for communicating.
I love that.
How cool. And then the third one for me is peppermint. And that's a personal choice because peppermint is very supportive for uplifting. It's very cooling, and topically cooling. So if you're sweating over, you know, overheated, you're in California, but also it's great for relieving tension. And so peppermint, a deep breath of peppermint helps the 8-pound bowling ball on my neck, my shoulders to
nice.
And it's, for me, it's like 30 seconds, instant relief.
Love it.
And that was
That's
my
great.
first experience with these oils where I said, what the heck just happened? I need to learn more.
I think that's great. So peppermint, I love the On Guard was the first exposure I had to doTERRA, and I diffused it in my office for about 8 years straight. I loved it. And then the lavender, of course, is just a no-brainer. And I think you're absolutely right. Those three are great baseline oils. So one of the questions we had before the show is, what do I need to get started? So a diffuser is good, some fractionated coconut oil, a few oils to get started, and you and I can both help people in the comments with that if they have a specific need. And that's kind of it, right? Am I missing anything?
Yeah, the other thing that I might add that's always good when you're getting started is a desire to learn more.
Good.
There are a lot of people out there who, and I've come across them all the time, who are naysayers, or who, just, some people who just have chips on their shoulders and they need something to complain about. You can find something to complain about with anything.
Yep.
Oils are no different. There's lots of people who have used inferior products and haven't gotten the results they want.
Yeah.
There's lots of people who, who are still looking for something better. And so I just challenge you to have a hunger and a desire to have great experiences, to learn more, and then be willing to ask questions. Because on our own, we can't do anything, but together we can do anything.
Now, you told me before the show that you have a link to something. What was it?
Yeah. So I just took an On Guard beadlet, and it hit me like all spicy in my throat. I'm like, fired up.
Those are good.
So the link is for a resource. And another thing with oils is that it's good to have resources, because you don't want to have to learn everything on your own experiences. If someone else has already learned, you want to learn from them. I learned through resources and through going to classes. And one of the things that doTERRA does is they focus a lot on education. So there's a ton of education on the website.
So great.
A non-doTERRA education resource, there's a couple of them that I love. One of them is a book called Oil Magic. And it's a thin little paperback, easy to flip. It's a half page. It's not intense. You don't have to have a doctorate. It's just simple. Great. But it talks about the oils. It gives you recipes. It gives you protocols, and it helps you with different challenges and symptoms to use your oils and be able to get a result.
Okay.
It has blends. It has all kinds of stuff. And this book is actually available right now for free. So the link will be down here where you can get it for free. You just pay the shipping. I think it's $7.95 if I'm not, I think it's $70.95, and it's a bulk shipping. And then you get the book, which is about a $20 book for free. I got this book about a year and a half ago or so. And I loved it because of its simplicity. Yeah. It kind of jives with the kindergarten level. Yeah. If you want more and deeper, and you are a sciencey, brainy person, there's a book called Modern Essentials. And it has a lot of detailed stuff, and another book that's very similar to it called The Essential Life. And it is a thick book with umpteen pages of information, of chemistry, of emotional support, of protocols. It talks about body systems and what oils to use for what systems. I mean, it's more complex. Much more detailed. It's not, you don't have to be a doctor. You just have to be able to read and be patient. Yeah. There's one additional resource I'll put below too that's been one of my favorites, and that is Josh Axe's book that came out a couple years ago, that is a combination of essential oils and herbs. And the reason I like it is just because it is built as a reference. So you just look up the oil that you're interested in to tell you everything about it. So I'll also put that link down below too for anybody that wants to know more. And so this is going to be a very link heavy show. So everybody, whether you're watching this live or in replay, we are going to have tons for you in the comments. So make sure you go down there and scroll and scroll and scroll and view previous and all that, because we're going to have lots of different things in there for you to enjoy and to further your essential oil education, which absolutely. And now, clearly, well, go ahead. One last thing I want to squeeze in is this is kindergarten. Yes. Now, for any of us to effectively grow, build, and have the future and the health and the life and the wellness we want, we have to go to first and second and third, go through the ranks. So there's more information. I could talk about oils in pets. I could talk about oils in kids, immune system support. There's so many things.
I love it.
So this isn't the period. This is the comma. Continue pursuing more.
That's great. And Erika, along that vein, of course, with your permission, we are going to invite you back to do maybe some very specific topics on essential oils. I've been getting tons of questions about oils in general, so I know there's a big interest out there. And yeah, no reason why we shouldn't take some hot topics and share them with the public so they can learn.
Absolutely.
So that's
Absolutely.
great.
I'm hoping here in the next month or two to have my I have a training program I'm putting together right now with essential oils for flight attendants and for travelers.
Good.
And so there'll be a lot of really great tips and recipes and things, you know, and that's something that we all travel, but my other half is a flight attendant. And so I am all the time exposed and having questions and talking to other flight attendants. And so there's so many ways to use oils you just can't even imagine until you start actually imagining who you can help.
Well, and so then let's make that our next, let's make that our next topic is travel, because that's one of my passions and I always carry oils. So we could do definitely a collaborative effort on that. And so we will get that scheduled for sometime in the next couple months. Erika, thank you so much for being here. Everyone who's watching, thank you so much for supporting the show. And remember to tune back in next Friday at noon PST. And we will be just doing all sorts of interesting interviews and stuff. I've got all sorts of great people coming up throughout the next couple months. So
I almost forgot. I have this cool little booklet. It's called Healthy Can Be Simple. It's very kindergarten. And it goes through and it talks about all the different ways you can utilize oils, from self-care to sleep to your kids. And so I want to make this available to anybody who's interested.
Oh my gosh,
I love email so that people can email, and then I'm happy to send this to them. And then if you have questions, follow-up, etc., I'm happy to help. But this is just a great little pocketbook resource for yourself, you know, to be able to share whatever works for you.
That is so nice, Erika. Thank you so much for sharing that with viewers. And yeah, so we'll put your email down below, and that's going to be awesome. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Have an awesome day. Happy Friday.
Yes, thank you so much. And we'll see you again soon, Erika. Everybody else have a great weekend too.